So in the Wheel of Health, I have created 4 different areas. One is the body. One is nutrition. Nutrition. One is our relationship to self, and for that matter, universe. And here is to others and like job and like external factors. So here is like inner part, and here is external factors. All these 4 things affect our relationship to health. On this course, the focus is on food. So we have another course, Activate Your Self-Healing Powers, where the first week is more on body, general on body. The second week is the same course as this one. And the third week is the relationship to self and others, where we go more in depth with it. And then we have a training program, an education where you can go deeper with it, so you can learn to support other people in activating their self-healing powers as well. But here for now, we're focusing on this part for the next week. If you're thinking about food, let's just do a simple thing. Think about a carrot. What direction does a carrot grow in? Yeah, we all know it. Everybody does like this, I see that. What direction does a kale grow in? Yeah. So we have 2 different kind of energies, huh? One energy that's opening and one that's going downwards and grounding. What energy is alcohol? Yeah, alcohol moves us up and away from ourselves. That's why we drink. We drink to get stimulated. We drink to kind of like, and sometimes it doesn't work. So when does alcohol actually work? What kind of condition do we need to have for alcohol to work? Yes, you're saying, yes. It needs to be combined with that you have a strong center. If you're a little bit too tight, alcohol will work very well. If you're already too expanded, what happens when you drink? You get depressed and boring and complaining, and life is no fun. So then it doesn't work. So if you want to make a party, you got to make sure there is something that's very contractive and something that's very expansive, and then you can have fun. It doesn't mean you don't get a hangover, but you can create fun and you can create dynamics. So let's look at foods generally. Let's try to put foods on a line. If you just create a line and say here we have the more contractive foods, the things that down there, or contractive, whatever way we want to can put it with the arrows in. We can have a triangle here that's expansive, going up, or we can make arrows, whatever we like. Which food would you think is a more balanced food? Grains, yes.
I don't know.
Well, you're apparently new. You're apparently new. Grain. Whole grains. Now what happens when we have whole grains is one thing. What happens when we do white, like for example, white rice?
Are they expensive?
Yeah, it becomes more expensive. It becomes, so the fact how we treat foods will also change. But in its wholeness, grains is a more balanced food. Yeah. We have something else that's even more contracted that you may not think about it. Salt. Yes, you did think about it. Yes, salt. And we are looking at, like, if you look at commercial salt and sea salt, like unrefined sea salt and commercial salt. The commercial salt is a refined salt, well, refined salt and unrefined salt, we can say. Which one would be the most contracted?
The refined.
Yes, why?
because it's smaller and it's been ground down and
And it's only one chemical.
Mhm.
In like sea salt, unrefined salts, you have many different chemicals that automatically creates a wider spectra. So we can have salt or we have sea salt. Generally in macrobiotics, we recommend to use sea salt because the other salt is a little too harsh. And so this is some more contractive sites. And here we have some things. We have some root vegetables, some leafy vegetables, some legumes. What else do we have on the expansive side?
fruit.
What? Fruit, yes. So fruit comes somewhere out here. And if we're looking at fruit and then berries, what's it? Yes, berries, they grow more on the ground and they are smaller and they're less juicy. So berries, they would be less extreme. They still are sweet, but they are much less extreme. So we would be doing ourselves a favor if we eat more berries than fruit. In the Western world today, they are more or less living. Oh, we forgot to put coffee and tea and sugar out here. So let's put the sugar and the coffee out here. And alcohol, for that matter, goes even further out, and drugs goes further to the sides. So most people, they are more or less living in these more extremes. What do we think it does to the body when we kind of go from extreme contraction to extreme expansion and back and forth?
Kind of wears it out.
It wears it out. So it causes, on the negative side, wear and tear, tiredness. Also that we age quicker. What is the positive part of it? Now, this extreme, like contraction and expansion, what's the positive side of it?
Quick results.
What?
Quick results.
Quick results, yeah. Also a sense of being alive, oh, wow, it's exciting. There's something happening. It's your, what?
Dopamine.
Yes.
Dopamine, yeah.
Generally, a sense of dynamics, and a sense of living. Hey, I'm living strong. Basically, if you were to put this, you can say, live strong, die young. Because you wear yourself out quite fast, but you really feel you're living while you do it. So there is a front and a back to everything. Do we need to say it's wrong? Actually, no. This is a choice we make. But we can look at the other one. Like, if we go in, generally, macrobiotics promotes generally this diet, but that's more because it's balancing this. I have been in a situation where I've recommended people to do the other. But if we do this lesser swings, like this is still the center part. So here, when we do, here the swings is not nearly as big. When you're sitting on a swing, this is the swing when you do the, you really feel something is happening and you're moving and it's like, whoa. You also pass through the balance point very quickly. What happens when you go slower on the swing?
It's like more relaxed.
Yes, more
Not as much
relaxed.
energy being spent.
And you stay closer to the balance point. You stay more connected. So that gives you some peace and calmness and direction. On the one side, what happens if you stay here too long or you make it too narrow? What happens?
You can kind of stagnate if you don't move.
You can be kind of stuck in it. It can be kind of boring. So if you do it for too long, it can be boring, like there's no dynamics, there's nothing happening, it's like all the same, and it gets too peaceful, huh? So it's like you can become too balanced. You know, we need a certain sense of dynamics, of extremes to actually live. So sometimes we need to go a little bit more extreme. That's what I said before. If you want to do a party, you make something a little bit more extreme. But if you want to have your cells repaired and you want to find peace and connection and direction, you want to go into the middle. So nothing right, nothing wrong, but something appropriate in different situations. For the most part, given that the modern world is so extreme, most people do good with trying this for a while. And as I said before, no, is it comfortable? No, it's not so comfortable in the beginning, but there is also a comfortable feeling, but it can also feel a little like restrictive, especially if you, you become too mental about it. It's important to, also be moving, because the movement kind of helps with the stuckness that can easily come, especially in the beginning. So the next days, what we will look more on is how can we create balanced menus? How can we use different cooking methods? Also, how can we actually use food to create identity? And vice versa. How does, if we are stuck in a certain personality or identity, how does that choose our food? Because we tend to use the food to recreate who we are already. We tend to want to stay the same. There is a certain, conservativeness in us. So we're going to look at both ways regarding identity. We're also going to look at our digestive system, how it works, and how we can make it work better. We're going to look at how we actually produce energy. And whatever else comes up. So also the questions you bring up will be determining what direction we go in, because we can go in many directions.